Hi, I'm Dr. Sheila John, Head of the Department of Costume Design and Fashion of Bishop Appasamy College of Arts and Science. I'm here to discuss on the topic Prototype Development for Frock Designs. An interesting topic, right? Yes. As we all know, clothing is an inevitable part of human race. The dresses vary according to the age and sex of the wearer. Women wear saris, salwar kameez, kurti, lehenga, gowns, pant, jeans, ladies top and so on. Men wear pant, jeans, shirt, t-shirt, dhoti, pajama, kurta, sherwani, blazer, etc. Boys also are commonly seen in shirt, t-shirt, jeans, shorts and baba suit. Whereas for the girls, it's frock, skirt, jeans and tops. Among that, frock is the most common wear of any girl child. It is worn as a casual wear and also as a party wear. In this module, we will learn about the method of preparing patterns for the frocks. In this module, we will learn about the method of preparing patterns for the frocks. At the end of the lesson, you will gain knowledge on the various styles of frock, method of preparing patterns for the same, and construction of frock. Designs are innumerable as far as the frock is concerned. Hence, for an easier understanding, I have grouped the frock designs into 5. Number 1, A-line frock. Number 2, summer frock. 3, yoke frock. 4, bodice and skirt combined. 5, 3-layered skirt. First, we learn about A-line frock. A-line frock is derived from the shape of the silhouette of a frock where two sides are slant. It follows the shape of an alphabet A, where it is tapered at the top and wider as the bottom. What you see now on the screen is a basic A-line frock without sleeve. We will learn the method of drafting patterns for this A-line frock. A to B is a frock length. It can also be calculated as waist length plus skirt length. AC is 1/4 chest. AD is half back width. AE is neck width. AF is 2 cm. I'll repeat it. AE is neck width, that is 1/12 chest. AF is 2 cm. This is the back neck drop. AG is equal to AF plus 2 cm. This is the front neck drop. Connect the front and the back neckline as shown. The shape and depth of the neck can be changed according to the taste of the wearer. CG is 1/4 chest plus 3 cm. CH is equal to A to D and DH is the same as A to C. Make a rectangle A, D, H and C as shown. DI is equal to 2 cm. Connect EI as shown. This is the shoulder slope. IX is 1/3 of IH and mark X on that line. Y is 2 cm away from X. Connect IXJ as shown. This represents the back armscye line. Connect IYJ as shown. This represents the front armscye line. BK is equal to CJ plus 3 or sometimes 5 cm as desired. Connect JL as shown. On the line JK, mark KL, that is 2 cm. Connect BL with a slight curve for a curved hemline. Now we will prepare the final pattern for the A-line frock. Here we will have to separate the front and back patterns first. The front pattern is GEIYJLBG. Back pattern is FEIXJLBF. The front pattern has to be cut on fold. The recommended seam allowances are at the neck, armscye and placket it is 1 cm, shoulder and side seam 1.5 cm and hemline 2.5 cm. Next, we learn how to construct the A-line frock. Attach the front and back pattern pieces at the shoulder line. Finish the back open with the 2-piece placket. Apply bias facing or piping at the neckline and also at the armscye. Join the side seams and finally fold and finish the hemline. You can bring in a lot of variations in the A-line frock. I am going to teach you on applying the princess line cut in the A-line frock. Princess line can be given in two different ways. The first one is from the center of the arm side to the center of the hemline. The second one is from the center of the arm side to the center of the hemline. As you see in the design, you can see the princess line cut given in the A-line frock. You can follow the outline of the black color where you will see the line starting from the center of the arm side and extending to the hemline. We will have to prepare the patterns for the princess line cut. For preparing the pattern, trace the basic front pattern and draw the princess line as shown in the figure. The pattern is cut along the princess line and 1 cm seam allowance is given at the princess line. The same seam allowance mentioned for the A-line frock can be given in the other parts like arm side and neckline is 1 cm, shoulder is 1.5 cm and hemline is 3 cm. If you want to have the princess line at the back pattern, you can repeat the same procedure in the back pattern also. This is optional. Next, we will see the method of creating another type of princess line which starts from the center of the shoulder to the center of the hemline. Here, you may observe the black color for the princess line where it starts from the shoulder line to the center of the hemline. You will have to take the A-line frock front pattern and draw the princess line cut as shown. Cut the pattern along the outline and give seam allowances as we have discussed earlier. After pattern making, the next important step is construction of A-line frock. The pattern pieces of the front are stitched together at the princess line first. The front and the back is attached at the shoulder line followed by finishing of the neckline and arm side. The hemline is finished after the side seams are joined. More designs can be created in this A-line frock in the following ways. The first, you can attach sleeves like plain sleeve, cap sleeve, puff sleeves and so on. You can also incorporate collars like Peter Pan collar, Puritan collar, sailor collar at the neckline. Pockets of different shapes and sizes can also add varieties. Decorations like laces, bows, satin ribbons also can be done along with the embroidery. We have learnt the drafting and construction of A-line frock, and now I will teach you about the second group of frock, that is summer frock. Summer frock is a casual wear. It has straps at the shoulder line and it is the most preferred garment for summer as it gives comfort to the wearer. The pattern for the A-line frock can be altered to get the summer frock. The basic pattern of the A-line frock, that is the body's front, is taken and the horizontal line about the chest line is marked as shown. The position of the strap is also marked in the edge of the arm side line to the shoulder line as shown. Cut the body's block and the strap pattern separately and give seam allowances. Next, we will see the construction of summer frock. First, the straps are finished. The straps usually will have 2 layers. It is stitched by placing one layer over the other like a tubing turned in and out. It is then top stitched for a neat finish. The front and back bodies are joined together at the side seam line. The chest line and the arm side line are finished with bias facing or piping with the straps placed in between at the right position. Finally, the hemline of the frock is folded and finished neatly. More variations can be given to this summer frock, like replacing the straps with decorated ties. It can be a single tie or it can be a double tie. The laces and satin ribbon can be attached along the chest line. Roses or bows can be made and attached as decorations. Hope you have understood A-line frock and summer frock. Next, we will move on to the yoke frock. Yoke frock is commonly used for babies below 5 years of age. Here, the yoke is the topmost part of the body's block. It starts with the shoulder line, covers the hemline, and ends slightly below the armscye line. This bottom of the yoke line is usually 5 to 10 centimeters below the neckline. In other words, the horizontal line is placed between the middle of the armscye line and in the end of the armscye line. The gathered skirt is attached to this yoke. The yoke is present in the front and the back patterns. The method of preparing the patterns for the yoke frock is as explained now. The A-line frock front and the back is traced and the yoke line is drawn as shown. The top of the pattern is called as yoke pattern and the lower part of the pattern is the skirt pattern. The width of the skirt pattern has to be increased to give more fullness. For gathers, the skirt pattern should be increased to a minimum of 1.5 times of its original length. The increase is made in the center front of the pattern, after which the seam allowance is added to all the parts of the pattern, and now the pattern is ready for cutting. The fabric is cut according to the pattern lines and the sewing is done in the following order. First, the back pattern is finished with the two-piece placket. Then stitch the front and the back pattern along the shoulder line. The neckline and the armscye is finished with bias facing or bias piping. Gather the skirt at the front and the back and attach it to the front and back yoke respectively. Finish the hemline of the frock after joining the side seams. The placket has to be finished with fasteners, and for the children it is usually press buttons. I will now give you some tips on additional designs for a yoke frock. As we are discussing earlier, we are all seeing the frocks without sleeve, and as I mentioned earlier, you can add plain sleeve or puff sleeve, and you can add interesting collars like Peter Pan collar or any other narrow collar at the neckline. Trimmings and decorations like laces, satin ribbons, bows can be given, and embroidery is a beautiful embellishment for the garment. We will now move on to another interesting frock style where the body's block and the skirt are combined at the waistline. Here also we are going to see a basic simple pattern where the body's block extends till the waistline and a gathered skirt is attached at the body's block. The steps in preparing the pattern is now explained. Trace the A-line frock and then add waistline to the A-line frock. The A to N represents the waist length and M to N is the same as C to G. O to N is 1.5 cm. This is done to give shape to the side seam. MN serves as a waistline for the skirt also. Body's front, back and skirt patterns are separated. There has to be certain changes in the skirt pattern because the skirt has to be gathered. For gathers, the skirt pattern width is increased at the center front, that is MB. A seam allowance of 1.5 cm is added at the waistline. For armscye, shoulder, side seam, hemline and placket follow the same that is taught for the A-line frock. After tracing the pattern blocks onto the frock, cut the fabric into the pattern pieces. The pattern outlines are traced onto the fabric and the fabric is cut following the pattern lines. The fabric pieces of the front and the back are joined at the shoulder. The center back is finished with a two-piece placket. The neckline and the arm side is finished with a bias facing or piping. This can be given in the same color fabric or can also be given in a contrasting color. The skirt has to be gathered and the gathered skirt has to be neatly attached to the waistline of the body's front and the back. The hemline has to be folded and stitched after the side seams are joined. What we saw now is the plain bodies. We will now apply yoke designs to the bodice block. I am going to teach you three types of yoke designs. In the first design, yoke is at the arm side line as you see. I hope you will remember this is similar to the yoke line that we saw in the yoke frock. For preparing the patterns, you will have to trace the front pattern of the A-line frock. I am repeatedly using the same A-line frock pattern because you will be familiar with the A-line frock pattern and it is also easier for you to follow. Draw the yoke line from the left arm side end to the right arm side. Separate the yoke pattern from the body's front pattern and add seam allowance at the yoke line. For all the other parts, the seam allowance line is the same. The skirt pattern remains unaltered. The back pattern also remains unaltered. The position of the straight horizontal line can be changed to any other position in the body's block, and instead of the straight line, you can give shape according to the taste. So when you are sewing the yoke, it has to be stitched to the body's block and then it has to be stitched as per the instructions I taught you when we are going through the skirt and body style. We are going to see the second design where the yoke is present at the neckline. In this style, the neckline is decorated and emphasized. For this module, I have shown a slanting vertical line drawn from the middle of the shoulder and is squared below the neckline. This shape can be changed to any other different shape as you prefer. And when you see the patterns also will follow the same outline of the design which you have sketched. As told earlier, the patterns of the yoke and the body's block has to be cut separately and seam allowance given. The yoke is attached to the body's block while sewing, and the other steps are similar to the bodice and skirt combined pattern. We'll see another design where the princess line yoke is given at the body's block. Princess line is drawn in the body's block like the same we learnt in the A-line frock. Here, the princess line starts midway of the arm side and ends at the waistline, after which the yoke and the body's block in the patterns are separated. So after separating it, the pattern pieces are cut in the fabric, and as we saw earlier, the back pattern remains unaltered and the skirt pattern remains unaltered. The stitching also follows the same order as we discussed above. Lot of variations can be done in this bodice and skirt combined frock style. As we have been repeatedly saying, varieties of sleeve and collar can be added. You have a number of varieties of sleeve. You have puff sleeve, plain sleeve, and even in the puff sleeve you can give puff sleeve gathered at the top, puff sleeve gathered at the bottom, and you can also give puff sleeve gathered at the top and bottom. The body's block, skirt and the yoke can be varied with the combination of plain and printed fabrics or a combination of plain and woven design fabrics. For party wears, the skirt can be layered with a netted or transparent fabric which will enhance the beauty or also give a rich look to the frock. And as we have been saying, laces and satin ribbons definitely add beauty to the garment. Embroidery is another beautiful embellishment which can create variety. In addition, the pockets, frills, bows also add variety and beauty. We will now complete this module with another frock style, that is 3-layered skirt. The skirt pattern only has changes. The body's block does not have any changes. The skirt pattern is divided into 3 equal parts horizontally. The 3 layers are separated and given seam allowances in all the layers. While stitching, the layers of skirt are gathered separately, and this is fixed over a basic skirt pattern. The skirt pattern is then attached to the body's block. The skirt can be 2-layered or 3-layered or 4-layered as desired. The fabrics can be the same for all layers or can be varied according to the taste. So now you have seen a lot of variety of design. So you have seen A-line frock, you have seen yoke frock, you have seen summer frock, and also you have seen a frock where the bodies and the skirt is combined. In all this, you have also seen the varieties of yoke patterns implemented in the body's block. And also you have learned the method of altering the skirt pattern. With these varieties, you can try a lot of other more varieties. And I am sure this module will enable you to create many prototype designs for frock. Practice makes a man perfect. Practice not only makes a man perfect but also gives utmost satisfaction. So after you have learned and practiced these designs, you can also strive to become an entrepreneur and be successful in life. Have a nice day and God bless you.